The name is Ron Rich, and people usually ask me, Ron, just how did you get so rich? And I tell them, the key to getting rich is succeeding in IB Literature HL1. And the key to succeeding in IB Literature HL1 is to succeed on your works and translation paper. So come along with me, and I'll explain the progress that went into making a 10-level paper. Step 1, know your stuff. The first step that must be taken in the process of the works and translation is to become familiar with the context of the novel you are exploring. Chances are, if you lack the sufficient knowledge, a poor product will be produced. Personally, I gained the most amount of information through the interactive oral discussions. The biggest takeaway was that the Islamic Republic controls Iran. It was this aspect of Iran that I chose to explore in Persepolis. Once you have your background information, it is imperative that you come up with a rough draft for a thesis. Without one, you'll become lost, you'll be confused, and you will basically die when it comes to finding evidence, as you do not know what you're trying to prove. Luckily for me, I listened to my genius of a teacher, and I elaborated on the idea of the Islamic Republic's control over Iran. Specifically, I came up with this elegant, yet unique thesis. The Islamic Republic manipulates those of a lower class in order to establish control. The third step to writing your works and translation paper is finding the evidence to prove your thesis. You know what a paper with no evidence is in common with? It's in common with this dog turd right here that some rascal of a neighbor forgot to pick up. Yeah, that's right. If your paper has no evidence, you might as well turn in a dog turd and just save the trees. See, the reason is who is to say that you are right if you don't have any evidence? That is why finding evidence is imperative. For me, I stumbled upon 3 examples in Marjane Satrapi's Persepolis to prove my thesis. The first piece of evidence that I found was in the vignette called The Key. As you can see, the Islamic Republic gives keys to boys at school and tells the boys that if they go to war and are lucky enough to die, the key would get them into heaven. However, at the end of the vignette, Satrapi puts forth an image in which their soldiers and their keys explode on the minefield. In this sense, Satrapi makes it clear that instead of delivering a better life, the key is merely a means to deceive the poor, and that in the end, the recruits die when they fight against Iraq. This understanding consequently makes it clear that the Republic uses the keys to manipulate the lower class in order to better their chances at defeating Iraq. The second piece of evidence that I discovered on my journey lied in the passport. Particularly, when Marhi's aunt goes to the hospital director in an effort to get a passport for her husband, she learns that the director is her former window washer. Furthermore, when the window washer finally responds to Marhi's aunt's requests, he states twice that if God wills it, only then can he do it. In this sense, Satrapi displays the fact that these poor workers, who the Republic hires to these prominent positions, are only capable of carrying out the Republic's practices due to their undereducation. For this reason, Satrapi underscores the fact that the Republic is able to control government agencies and businesses alike through the poor. The third piece of evidence that I located in the text took place in Kimwild, having to do with the Women's Branch, a group that the Republic created by enticing lower-class women with prominent positions where they would enforce Islamic code. When Marhi returns home from the black market, the Women's Branch attempts to intimidate her. One of the women guardians criticizes her Michael Jackson pin and also tells her that she should be ashamed to wear tight jeans. As a result of this harassment, a greater issue rises, however. Instead of fighting together to expand the rights of women, factions of women oppress one another. In this sense, as a result of hiring lower-class women, the Islamic Republic is able to distract women from making any major strides in terms of rights. And there you have it, folks. 3 examples. The Islamic Republic manipulating the young soldiers to go out and fight in the war. The Islamic Republic hiring the former window washer to become the hospital director, where they're consequently able to control government agencies, and the Islamic Republic hiring the low-class women to become the Women's Branch, where they oppress other women. These 3 examples proved my thesis in my paper years ago. Now it's your turn. Ron Rich, over and out.